Hello, my name is Camila Gutierrez. I am a medical assistant in a trauma hospital here in Kern County. Um, I just want to talk a little bit about why it is so important to have a medical assistant in the medical field, and what a little bit of what goes on behind the scenes. So we've all had a family member, or I personally have had a family member go to the emergency department for an issue they may be having, that being with blood pressure, that being with chest pain, that being with a wound infection, or anything like that, We've all had those incidents. We've all been in that, or at least I've been in that situation. But as a family member, you go in with your family member not knowing what actually happens behind the scene, that being whatever a procedure they may need or anything. So being able to see a little bit of what happens behind the scene is like, it's really an eye opener, like, and it shows you like what really goes on behind the scene, like that being like whatever the doctor may need to order for your family member or somebody that you may know. Working as a medical assistant is really important to the medical field because you like being a medical assistant is important, and being able to have a stable team is also important because you're constantly having to do multiple things at once, that being the doctors asking you to translate, to call a pharmacy, to make sure that the patient's dressing is the way they want it to be, to make sure that the patient is taking the correct medication, to make sure that you draw up the right medication for an injection they may need. Like, it's constantly something that you have to be paying attention to, like it's like, how would I explain this? Like, it's multiple things at once, but you have to make sure to do the right thing when you are doing that task, which is why it's important to have a good teamwork, because if you have all these things going on at once, you do get overwhelmed very easily. So it's important to be able to rely on somebody else and be like, hey, is it okay if I give you this task, and they're able to do it, which is why it's important to like learn as a team and be able to rely on one another, not just take everything for yourself. You always constantly have to make sure that the patient's vitals are okay, that their blood pressure is not too elevated, or that it's not too low, that they're feeling well. um which is um which is what I'm trying to get to. Like, it's really important that um you are able to do your job and also help your team, because as a medical assistant, it's always constantly going to be multiple things. Like, many people don't understand that you are actually doing stuff, because on the outside, like, looking from outside in, you're just like, oh, like, she's just helping the doctor, or like she's just there to figure something out for the patient. But in all reality, no, like, yes, we are there to help the doctor, yes, we can help figure out whatever the patient may need, but we are also constantly calling places, constantly placing referrals. It's just multiple things that are required for the medical field. And being a medical assistant, I know that there's still a lot more to come, like, in the medical field. Like, as I want to pursue my career in nursing, I know that I'm still going to have a lot of more obstacles, a lot more tasks, a lot more knowledge that I'm going to have. But working at this trauma hospital, it has taught me a lot and is constantly teaching me a lot throughout the days.